Alright guys, here is my top 8 Dino Rabbit deck from Charlotte Regionals, like I promised you guys. We got 3 copies of Rescue Rabbits. That's Nicholas, Mittens, and Dr. Briefs. Yes, I named my rabbits. Big whoop. Want to fight about it? We've got our 6 normal dinos, Sabersaurus and Kapazaz. Sabersaurus is actually very underrated this format. Card is really good, especially since nobody made that Thunder King anymore. 3 copies of Dp-Ygo. It's really bad in the mirror match, and it's bad versus heroes, which I did play 2 heroes. But it's good against windups. It's good against Inzektor. Like, you catch them with Fiendish Chain or Book of Moon, and you just summon this, beat over their little monsters, and then make like Doka or Lagia. Plus, all their monsters are small. They can't get over this. 3 copies of Troll Guide from the Expensive World. She's really cool. She opens up your rank 3 Exceed plays. She lets you reuse Rabbit with Levier. You guys know the basic stuff. 1 copy of Sangan, gets Rabbit. Hand traps. We've got 3 copies of Maxi, 1 copy of Gores. I didn't really summon Gores that much, but I still would never, I'd definitely use them in this. It's really good in the mirror match. No Effect Veiler because it's bad in this deck. Like, you don't need it. It's a waste of a card. Last week at Richmond, I played against 3 Dino mirror matches, and Effect Veiler is horrible against Dino Rabbit. It only hits Tour Guide. And me and Tyree Tinsley were talking about it. We were like, why do you need this card if you have Fiendish Chain, you have Doka, and you have all these other ways to stop effects? So, And then here was my troll card of the day. 1 Snowman Eater in the main deck. Tyree Tinsley, again, he talked me into this. Me, him, and a good buddy of mine, Jeff Daniels, who has like 17 regional tops. We all ran 1 copy of these. Tyree wasn't even running Dino Rabbit. He ran windups, and instead of running factories, he ran these, and he ended up going 8-1 and topping also, and he beat me. 3 copies of MST. Ew, these commons look ugly. I gotta get some ultras. Seriously, if you got some ultras, hit me up. 2 copies of Forbidden Lance. Like, they did what they needed to do. Especially Forbidden Lance and Doka. Like, windups and Inzektor, like, it's just like auto game. And then we have our one-ofs: Mind Control, Monster Born, Book of Moon, Heavy Storm, Pot of Avarice, Dark Hole. I actually did side out Dark Hole a lot of times. Like, I sided out against Inzektors and stuff because it's like more powerful cards that I can side in. 2 copies of Torrential Tribute. I've said it in my last video, the last time I topped. I don't like Torrential Tribute as a card, but Jeff told me to play the 2nd copy instead of Starlight Road, and I listened to him out on a limb. And basically, like, he's right. It's a necessary evil right now. Mainly because it breaks up plays. Like, people try and wind up loop you, you activate Torrential. Your opponent goes like Rescue Rabbit, you Torrential. Like, it breaks up too many plays right now. 2 copies of Fiendish Chain. This card is wicked good with Dp-Ygo. It's also good if you have like if you have Lagia in this, because people try and make big monsters. They try and make you waste your negate, but then you can use this to essentially stop that. Solemn Brigade, 2 Solemn Warnings, 1 Judgment. Mirror Force, and then Evac Device. Evac Device was, again, it's like a personal attack like Snowman Eater or like a 2nd Torrential Tribute. Like, every single time I had this card, I felt good. Like, I felt safe if it was in my first hand. So this is just my tech card, and I'm gonna show you guys the extra inside deck now too. Extra deck is pretty simple, pretty basic. 2 copies of each of the Brothers of Destruction, 2 copies of Lagia, 2 copies of Doka. There are some matches like the mirror match and Heroes where Lagia is just a champ, obviously first turn. And then there are some matches like Windups and Inzektor where Doka like seriously puts in work and he's better. Utopia and Zemeister. People ask why you run Zemeister. It's because like Inzektors, they can side goes and match. So if you go Rabbit and you get 2 Sabersaurus, then you can make this. Also, your opponent can't mind control this and make Utopia Ray, which I didn't run. And Courtney Waller said that I am horrible for not running it. It's not that I didn't know about it, because I ran it at Richmond last week. It's I didn't have one, and I was too lazy to ask Tyree to borrow his, because I had forgotten. It didn't matter anyway. 1 copy of Zenmains, 1 copy of Levier. Oh my goodness, run 2 copies of Levier. If you happen to see Tyree, I played him. We were both undefeated with windups. He will tell you, like, the only reason he beat me was because in game 3, I only had 1 copy of Levier. He had Wind-Up Rabbit on the field, and I top Tour Guide. So I wanted to make this and attack his Wind-Up Rabbit. We were both top decking. Obviously, if he removes it, which he wouldn't have, I just would have reborned it using Levier, and otherwise he just would have had to let his rabbit die. Then he topped another rabbit, and then he just fucking went Wind-Up poo-poo on my face. The 2 rank 3 beatdown cards, Acid Golem and Leviathan. Ladies and gentlemen, don't stop running Leviathan because Acid Golem is out. Like, you need Leviathan. Like, you can lose games because of this. I almost lost a game. My opponent tried to stall me until I burnt myself to death, but I top deck Book of Moon. So, this card is still good. Run it. This card is, yeah. Like, people top deck Spirit Reaper and then you burn yourself to death. One Gachi, like, everybody kept asking me, why are you running Gachi? I was like, I don't know. You know, Summon Maxi, Reborn your Maxi. I don't know. I played Fog Monarchs last week in a regional, and what's it called? There were like 4 opportunities to make Gachi, and I didn't have it. And then 2 random synchros that I never even thought about using because I took Starlight Road out, but I forgot to take Stardust out, whatever. And then this because my friend took his Chimera Fortress back, and he gave me this, so whatever. Didn't need either one of those cards. And my side deck, last of all. Okay, we've got 3 Macrocosmos and 2 copies of Shadow Mirror. Basically, these serve the same exact purpose. Stop Inzektors and stop Dark World. I didn't play any Dark World between both of my regionals, but I did play a bunch of Inzektors. Like, I played 3 Inzektors at Charlotte. I beat all 3 of them. This card is really good, and when people don't know that this stops Hornet, then you're really, really, really going to win. 2 copies of D-Prison. I tried to decide really hard for the mirror match because I played 3 of them at Richmond, and that didn't actually work out that well because I only played 1 in Charlotte and I lost it. So, and I got 2-0'd, but this was what that was supposed to be for. And if I like played Heroes, I would side this in. 1 copy of this for like stall decks. I lost the TG at Richmond. That was my second loss. And yeah, I didn't want that to happen again. So I wanted to have more outs for like skill drain and stuff. 2 copies of Snowman Eater because like you can side Snowman Eater against pretty much anything in this format except for Inzektor. Like, it's good against Heroes, it's good against mirror matches, it's pretty decent against windups. Like, people just run into it because they wind up side Thunder King versus you, so you can side this guy, make their Thunder King run into it. 2 copies of Thunder King. Okay, I'm gonna say something that people aren't gonna necessarily agree with. We talked about this a lot yesterday with a lot of good players. Thunder King is garbage this format. Like, first off, everybody and their mama is siding Snowman Eater, so you can't just attack face downs anymore. Otherwise, you run into Snowman Eater and cry. If you go second in this format with Thunder King, this card is even worse because Rabbit, they can go Lagia, then your Thunder King is worthless. Or windups, like they can put a good monster on the field, like Rabbit, or they can just set Spirit Reaper or Snowman or something like that. Thunder King is just, he's not nearly what he used to be. Honestly, I would replace these with Doom Caliber Knights in a heartbeat because Doom Caliber Knight stops Snowman Eater, and people might say, well, hand traps kill Doom Caliber Knight, but I mean, if you're playing against Rabbit, who the fuck is going to leave in Effect Veiler game 2 and 3 against a Rabbit deck? If you're that bad, then I'm going to beat you anyway. 2 copies of Smashing Ground and 1 copy of Forbidden Chalice. These are pretty simple. This was like a tech card that I just thought of at the last minute because I put my 3rd Snowman, which was in my side deck, into my main deck. And this card is actually really, really good. They just started talking about this on Dueling Grounds, sorry. But not only does this act like a watered down Fiendish Chain at times against like windups and Inzektors, but at the same time, like let's say I have Lagia on board, right? I can attack your Snowman Eater, and when it flips, I can use this during the damage snap, and your Snowman Eater will die and it won't get this effect. Same thing about Spirit Reaper. This kills that because all I have to do is go summon Sabersaurus, attack your Spirit Reaper. You won't have a response. Damage step, I can activate this. Its effect gets negated, so it dies. So yeah, and then I mean there might be those one random cases where your opponent has Thunder King, you have Sabersaurus, they attack, and you can activate this, keep your monster alive. So yeah, I would actually go 2 copies of this, and I would get rid of like a Smashing Ground because I actually really like this. Just as like another copy of Fiendish Chain. So this is my deck, guys. I'm pretty much done with Dino Rabbit. I don't like topping with a deck and then playing it for like multiple events after that. I'm not really sure what I want to play at like I think there's an April regional. I'm looking at maybe Dark World. I really want to start testing Heretic Dragons, but somebody told me that Galactic isn't legal until like May, so maybe I might do Dark World or like windups or something. Let me know what you guys think of my deck, if you think it was janky or whatever. But yeah, I didn't net deck this shit. Obviously you can see it's like a lot of tech in here and stuff like that, but you know, it tested very consistent, and the deck ran really good at the regionals. So you know, peace, and please click and add.